Reporters have been knocking on Todd Chrisley's door for a statement since news of Lindsie and Will Campbell's divorce broke. Todd admits he's no different than anyone else. He had no idea there were issues with his daughter's marriage. And he learned about the divorce the same way everyone else did. On Instagram, Todd explained that it was news he went to sleep with. He prayed on it before going to sleep, and awoke to pray on it some more. Todd Chrisley decided he did not want to speak to media outlets about his daughter Lindsie and Will's divorce. He did not want his statement to get twisted to fit a headline that would make for good views. So he decided to put his own statement out there. He would use his podcast to do it. He started by apologizing. He knows that he just promised to stop talking about Lindsie and Kyle on his podcast. But this was important. He needed to get his statement out there. Todd described it as a very sad day. Divorce is not something he would wish on anyone. Todd Chrisley knows what a divorce feels like. After all, Julie is his second wife. He saw what getting a divorce did to Lindsie and Kyle. He would hate to see that happen to Jackson. Todd Chrisley also wanted to talk about Will. There are a lot of rumors floating around that he just doesn't like Will. Lindsie Chrisley's estranged father acknowledges that he has very limited knowledge. He doesn't talk to his daughter, so he only knows what he reads about online. But Will was always a good provider for Lindsie and Jackson based on what he did know. Todd noted he was always very supportive, and he was a good father. The situation makes him sad for Jackson, but he finds comfort in the fact that Jackson does have a relationship with Will's parents. So he hopes Jackson will continue to have a relationship with his father and his father's parents. Todd Chrisley knows family is very important, especially during this limited time, and Will's parents are the only family Jackson really has. Todd promises to continue to pray for his daughter and his grandson during this sad and bad week. Share your thoughts with us in the comments. And keep coming back to TV Show Says for the latest on the Chrisley family and the glossy world of Southern charm and family drama that surrounds the Chrisley Knows Best empire. Few events have caused as much buzz as the news of Lindsie Chrisley's latest heartbreak. The eldest daughter of Todd Chrisley, once estranged and later cautiously reconciled, has reportedly called it quits with her ex-husband-turned-partner again, Will Campbell. The revelation has sent reality TV fans and pop culture watchers into a frenzy, wondering not just what went wrong this time, but how Todd would respond after years of complicated history with his daughter. And respond he did. After days of silence and speculation, Todd Chrisley broke his quiet front with a carefully crafted statement that managed to blend grace, faith, and unmistakable Chrisley flair. The patriarch of the reality clan, known for his quick wit and ironclad opinions, shows a tone of calm reflection, marking a surprising contrast to the fiery public feuds of years past. His words rippled across fan circles, signaling not only a father's acknowledgement of his daughter's pain, but also a moment of quiet redemption in a family narrative defined by forgiveness and spectacle. The Chrisley saga has never been short on plot twists. For years, viewers have watched the rise, fall, and resurrection of one of reality television's most famous families. Long before the family's legal troubles, before the headlines and federal trials, there was the rift between Todd and his eldest daughter, Lindsie. Once a bright presence on Chrisley Knows Best in its early seasons, Lindsie departed the show amid growing tension with her father and stepmother, Julie. Rumors swirled. Stories of betrayal, leaked gossip, and unresolved pain. Both sides spoke publicly at times, their strained relationship playing out not only on camera, but in interviews, podcasts, and cryptic social media posts. Yet in recent years, something shifted. After Todd and Julie began serving their sentences, Lindsie appeared to soften toward her father. She spoke cautiously about reconciliation, acknowledging the complexity of forgiveness. Todd, too, expressed gratitude for second chances, noting that life's hardest moments often expose the depth of family ties. Now, against this backdrop of fragile healing, The dissolution of Lindsie's relationship with Will Campbell has reopened wounds and reignited public curiosity about how the Chrisley patriarch would handle it. Todd's statement, shared through his publicist and later reposted on fan accounts, was short but layered. It reflected a man who has weathered his own storms and learned to choose his words more carefully. The tone was uncharacteristically measured, more pastor than provocateur. It avoided any hint of the biting sarcasm that once made Todd a social media sensation. Instead, it underscored empathy and restraint, the hallmarks of someone who's grown weary of conflict. He acknowledged that divorce, no matter how amicable, is a kind of death, the ending of a shared dream. He spoke of lessons learned through pain, the strength required to let go, and the importance of kindness in the face of heartbreak. While he did not name Will directly, his words carried the weight of understanding. There was no finger-pointing, no self-righteous undertone, just a recognition that love can fade. And sometimes the healthiest thing two people can do is part peacefully. For longtime followers of the Chrisley family, this tone marked a subtle but powerful shift. Todd, the once fiery patriarch who fought to control every narrative, seemed to be embracing a quieter power. Acceptance for Lindsie. The public response has been both sympathetic and scrutinizing. She and Will Campbell share a long, complicated history. The pair first eloped in 2012 against her family's wishes, a move that set off years of tension with Todd. Their relationship, both tender and tumultuous, was the subject of whispers long before reality TV cameras ever caught wind of it. They welcomed a son, Jackson, who became the glue that bound them even when things were falling apart. Their first divorce in 2021 seemed final, yet as time passed, Lindsie and Will found their way back to each other, quietly rekindling their bond. Fans took it as a hopeful sign, proof that love could survive missteps and maturity could heal old scars. But not all reconciliations are meant to last. When Lindsie revealed the split this time, she did so with a somber tone. Gone were the hashtags and upbeat captions that once marked her social media updates. In their place was an honest acknowledgement of hurt and the hard work of moving forward. Todd's statement, then, was more than a public gesture. It was a father's subtle show of solidarity, a sign that he would not use this moment to lecture or gloat, but to support his daughter in the way she perhaps always wanted him to. The Chrisley effect. Public and private lives. Colleague Chrisley's fame has always rested on their willingness to live out loud. From Todd's razor-sharp one-liners to the family's glossy portrayals of Southern life, they've built a brand on authenticity wrapped in theatrics. Yet over time, that exposure has cut both ways. Every triumph has come with a headline, every mistake, a meme. When Lindsie and Will's first divorce became public, fans took sides, some echoing Todd's skepticism, others defending Lindsie's independence. When the family's legal troubles unfolded, lines deepened further. But this new chapter feels different. There's a quiet dignity to it all, as though everyone involved is finally weary of spectacle. Todd's decision to approach the subject with calm reflection mirrors the public's evolving view of the family, less as caricatures of fame, more as humans navigating extraordinary circumstances. For a man who once turned every feud into a punchline, Todd's shift toward humility has not gone unnoticed. It signals something more profound than good PR. It suggests growth. Behind every Chrisley headline, there's always been a lesson in resilience. Todd and Julie's ongoing legal challenges have stripped away much of the gloss that once defined their brand. Yet even in the midst of personal hardship, the family has continued to find ways to reconnect and rebuild. Lindsie's divorce may not have been a headline Todd wanted to comment on, but it offered him a chance to redefine how he engages with his eldest daughter publicly. His response, a far cry from the barbed soundbites of old, was steeped in compassion. It was a moment that blurred the line between father and celebrity, reminding the world that even in reality television, reality sometimes wins. In private, Sources close to the family claim that communication between Todd and Lindsie has improved significantly over the past year. They've reportedly exchanged letters, shared phone calls, and found comfort in faith-driven reflection. Their relationship, though still cautious, is healing. For Todd, who often cites scripture and the power of grace, this kind of patience aligns perfectly with his outlook. It's not about control anymore. It's about connection. And his handling of Lindsie's heartbreak reflects that evolution. The reaction online has been mixed but mostly positive. Longtime viewers of Chrisley Knows best expressed surprise at the restraint in Todd's tone. Many called it a sign of personal growth, a father who finally put love above pride. Others, ever skeptical, wondered if it was a strategic move, a way to polish the family's image during a challenging time. Still, the general sentiment leaned toward admiration. Comments poured in praising both Todd's and Lindsie's maturity, with fans noting that grief shared, even indirectly, is still healing, in a world where social media often amplifies